Hello and welcome back to the channel. I have to say right off the bat, this recipe is amazing. Combining 3 layers of flavour, we've got boiling, frying and a sweet savoury glaze. But, yes there is a but, there was one element of this recipe which I found a complete nightmare. I ended up scrapping that part of the recipe altogether and applied somewhat of a cheat, but more on that later. Let's start with the ingredients. We'll start off with the sticky glaze. What you'll need is 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, a squirt of ginger paste, 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, a pinch of salt and pepper, and 1 chopped red chili pepper. And we can mix that all together. Already there are some really bold flavours here, so I'm excited to see how it all comes together in the end. For the pork, you'll need ginger, garlic, 1 tablespoon of caster sugar, pork belly slices, beef stock, and rice wine vinegar. The first time I actually tried pork belly was fairly recently. It was at a local restaurant. It describes itself as a place where luxury, elegance and sophistication meet a raw and inspired organic space. A little pretentious, I know. But after trying their pork belly for the first time, I was blown away and immediately I knew it was something I wanted to attempt at home one day. So really excited to see how this turns out. Let's start cooking. First I'm going to start with the ginger. I cut off all the little nubs just to make peeling it a bit easier. I use a potato peeler to then get all the skin off. Then I shred it against the cheese grater to get it nice and fine. I think this will help release some of those flavours as opposed to chopping it. Then for the garlic, I'm keeping it simple, just peel and chop into little slices. Then for the stock, I add 1 beef stock pod to a jug, fill up with boiling water and give it a stir. Now we can add this to the pan. First thing I do is heat up the pan. We can add the stock, the garlic, the ginger which I grated and the caster sugar. I add the rice wine vinegar. I give that a mix and then we can add the pork belly slices. We're going to boil the pork into a broth so the pork absorbs all of those good flavours and becomes nice and tender. But this is the part that I dislike. As per the recipe, we have to leave the pork to boil for 2 whole hours. This is no fault of the recipe, it's more my own impatience. I just assumed something that's considered more of a snack would be quite easy and straightforward to put together. But if you stick around to the end, I apply a slightly different method, which saves us a lot of time. Whilst I was waiting for the pork belly to boil, it had me thinking where the inspiration to use pork belly actually came from. Google says pork belly has a long history in Chinese cuisine, deeply rooted in cultural and culinary traditions. Its widespread use and importance comes from a combination of practicality, symbolism, and culinary versatility. Pork belly dishes are often associated with abundance and celebration. Okay, now that long wait is finally over, we can remove the pork from the boil. I'm gonna pat them dry, hopefully this helps them to get nice and crispy in the pan later. Already the pork is smelling amazing. Once dry, we can chop them into bite-sized pieces. We can clean out the pan, add some cooking oil, and set to a medium heat. I'm going to add the boiled pork belly now, just with some extra salt and pepper for some flavour. We want to keep frying the pork until it goes a nice golden brown. Now we can add our sauce and chopped chilies from earlier. And let that simmer away. The pork is soaking up all those good flavours from the glaze. And that's pretty much ready to go. It smells phenomenal. I'm going to serve this with an egg and some fried rice. I'll probably do a recipe video on some fried rice some other time. And look at that. The pork belly bites look wonderful. Absorbing flavours from a slow cook, frying in the pan and covered in that intense glaze. Amazing, but they weren't exactly how I was hoping they would turn out. I was hoping for a darker brown, more crispy vibe to the dish. So using the same recipe, I scrapped the boiling stage entirely and put them straight into the air fryer. That's more like it. The same intense flavors with more of a bite. I think both methods are perfect, but if you're impatient like me, I'd rather not wait 2 hours just for slightly softer meat in this case, especially when it's something more of a snack or a side dish. But if you have the time, by all means, you'll get the benefit of a softer meat with the slow cook first. Overall, that was an amazing recipe. I'd rate this a solid 10 out of 10. The method of cooking is down to your own personal preference. I'll also leave a link in the description below to the recipe. I had a blast making this video and I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Thank you for watching.